A lot of these liberals, leftist Marxists in the United States of America, they talk about socialism and they talk about communism. And a lot of these Democrats sitting down in the U.S. office, me as a Mexican, I can tell you, all these white privileged liberals, they have never lived in a third world class country. They have never lived what we have lived. They have never experienced narco-terrorism, dismembered bodies, decapitated heads, extortion, kidnappings, missing women and missing people, extraction of organs. They have never experienced what is a dictator in a regime transforming out of socialism. And in your political language, it is all the fault of the sanctions and the embargo. All of that, that's what you use. But you don't come over here to the main place and try to cross that border. I don't see you doing that. I'm walking right now on the border of Simón Bolívar, where millions of migrants from Venezuela on an exile and on an exodus, they left their country because of necessity, because of the regime, and because of the dictator, Nicolás Maduro, Diosdado Cabello, and Padrino López. Because of those three, they control the fractions of Cartel de los Soles, Tren de Aragua, and all the regimes. They have basically destroyed the peace of the Venezuelan people. All of you that you pandered to the narco regime of Nicolás Maduro, you have never walked the Darien Gap and suffered the consequences as the Venezuelan people have. But you advocate for a dictator, and you advocate for a guy that is basically punishing and torturing their own people. Right here, I'm standing in the middle of this bridge, where is the limitations between Venezuela and Colombia. I'm going to go all the way to the limitation. So you will have the goal challenging you, the white progressive mercenary liberal that is advocating for Nicolás Maduro, Padrino López, and the dictator Diosdado Cabello. I'm challenging you to cross this line with your white privilege liberal agenda. I'm challenging you to come over here and have the balls to cross over here and see what happens to you with this dictator.
White liberals in America are complaining about Nicolás Maduro, while Venezolanos in Venezuela are out celebrating that their dictator is gone. If this doesn't tell you how evil and disturbed white liberals in America are, I don't know what will. They're willing to allow an entire country to be exploited as long as it fits their political agenda and goes against Trump. Think about that. Nicolás Maduro publicly rigged elections, killed his own people, had actual re-education camps, made anybody who opposed him disappear. And this is who they're defending now. Believe me, I was worried when Trump said that the United States would oversee the transition of power in Venezuela. But here's a reality that no one wants to admit. Maduro didn't just destroy Venezuela. He destroyed the entire system of checks and balances. He replaced the courts, institutions, everything with loyalists. This isn't one bad leader. This is a government gutted from within. Because of this, if we don't step in, the people who committed the corruption will be the exact same ones choosing who investigates it. The power is not going to return to the people. It'll just rotate to another loyalist from the same corrupt machine. But when these people say stay out, they're not saying stay out because it benefits Venezuelans or they care about what happens to them, because clearly Maduro was the worst thing that could have happened to him. Maduro was getting rich while starving his own people. A credible transition isn't about America controlling Venezuela. It's about preventing a total collapse. It's about less violence, fewer mass migrations, and giving Venezolanos a chance to stay in the country they love instead of being forced to flee from it. Scrutinize everything. Go ahead. Absolutely. I encourage it. But pretending that walking away fixes anything, that's how failed states stay failed states.
Dear American media, please stop using these three phrases in your Venezuela coverage because you're not being neutral. You're legitimizing a dictatorship. Listen, I've worked in American media my whole life. I've even published in the New York Times. And yes, they've been one of the outlets getting this wrong. So here's what to stop saying. 1. President Maduro. Maduro claims he won the election in July 2024 with no proof. The opposition, led by Edmundo González and María Corina Machado, won by a landslide and have the receipts. So say dictator, autocrat, authoritarian leader, de facto ruler. Stop granting him the title president. 2. Regime change. Regime change makes this sound like Iraq or Afghanistan to the American public. Use democratic restoration, constitutional order, a democratic transition, a return to what voters chose. 3. Delcy Rodriguez is a moderate. Speaking French or studying abroad doesn't make someone a moderate. Delcy Rodriguez is Maduro's VP. She handles the oil and is responsible, along with his power brokers, for one of the biggest refugee crises in our hemisphere and for torturing and imprisoning thousands of innocent people. If she replaces Maduro, it's not an ouster, it's a reshuffling. If this coverage affects you, share this. Send it to your American friends and tag journalists and editors and outlets, because if the U.S. public doesn't get the words right, they'll never understand what we're setting out to do. Si eres venezolano o latinoamericano, comparte este video con tus amigos estadounidenses, con publicaciones, periódicos, editores, porque tenemos que empezar a usar la terminología adecuada para lo que está pasando en Venezuela.